Coming out this afternoon, we're going to have an opportunity for you all to interact individually and collectively with our candidate for the 6th Congressional District, John Ossoff, all right? And we want you to ask questions and ask questions for this open and honest dialogue, right? This community conversation, right? But before we do, I am going to again introduce the congressman from the 8th Congressional District in New York, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and actually will come up.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you, Dr. Vaughn, for your leadership and all you do for the community and for helping to organize this event. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here in connection with this transformative campaign, to be here in the heart of Dixie. I think I can say that. Is that right?
That's right.
I'm a little bit familiar with Atlanta and the metropolitan area because my younger brother went to Morehouse here. He met his wife at Spelman, and they spent a significant amount of time in this area, great part of the country. You know, they say about Morehouse, man, you can always tell a Morehouse man, but you can't tell a Morehouse man nothing. And we would always debate about, you know, Brooklyn and New York and the Atlanta area, and at the end of the day it would be a draw. This is a phenomenal part of the country, and obviously all eyes are on this race for good reason, and I'll get into that briefly in a moment. But just for some context, I've got the opportunity to serve the 8th Congressional District down in Washington, D.C. That's a district that's anchored largely in Brooklyn and a few neighborhoods in Queens. I know there's some former Brooklynites who are here. The good thing about being from Brooklyn is that wherever you go, Brooklyn's always in the house. Yeah. we appreciate that and appreciate you. But it's a district that's incredibly diverse. About a third of the people were born outside of the United States, because we know people come from all over the world to Brooklyn and to Queens to pursue the great American dream. And so it's a district where I represent African Americans and Caribbean Americans, Italian Americans, Irish Americans, Bangladeshi Americans, Turkish Americans, the Orthodox Jewish community, Asian Americans, people from the South Asian community, and actually more Russian-speaking Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe than any other member of Congress in the country. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries, who knew? What a great country we live in. And notwithstanding that diversity, which, you know, can be racial and ethnic and religious and ideological in different ways, the one thing that's become clear to me is that everybody cares about the same thing. Everybody cares about making sure their children or their grandchildren can get the strongest possible education. Everybody cares about growing up in a neighborhood that's safe and peaceful. Everybody cares about having the strongest possible economy so that you can get access to a good job, work hard, and be paid a wage that allows you to take care of your family, to put food on the table, clothing on the backs of your loved ones, and to live in a household that is warm and that is decent. Those are things that bring folks together. Even in a country that we know is incredibly divided, and I know this from firsthand experience serving down in Washington, D.C. There are good people on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, but the country is incredibly divided right now, and we've got to find a way to bring folks together around a core set of issues and values to continue the great prosperity, the great exceptionalism that is America. And that's why this campaign, this candidacy is so significant, because there really is an opportunity in a district that has longly been held by Republicans, Newt Gingrich and the current United States Senator, and now the HHS Secretary is the most recent occupant, is an opportunity for all of you to send someone to Congress who's a unifier, who can bring people together. So impressed with his background as an investigative journalist. I mean, with all that's going on in Washington, we can use an investigative journalist in the House of Representatives. But it doesn't stop there. He's a small business owner, an entrepreneur. We need more entrepreneurs and people with small business experience because, yes, we embrace Fortune 500 companies. Yes, we embrace corporate America and the jobs that they create. I was an attorney for 2 Fortune 500 companies. But small businesses remain the backbone of the United States of America. And John has got that experience. He's got the national security background. In a dangerous world that we live in, we can use that level of practical experience, someone in the United States Congress, and someone who's focused on building an economy that thrives for everyone, that works for everyone, that is anchored in the notion of the great American middle class dream. And the reality that for many Americans, it appears that is at risk of slipping away. And we need people who are committed to that. And the last reason that I think it's important for all of you not just to vote, but to double down and to triple down on your support. I know everybody in this room either has already voted or will vote, but we need you to take your sons or your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, your fellow church congregants, your employees, your co-workers to the polls. Talk to them about the importance of this election, because there's some challenges that we confront in this country. And the reason why all eyes are on the 6th Congressional District here in Georgia is because there's an opportunity to chart a different path, to say that we can come together as Americans around a core set of values, regardless of party affiliation, that we don't think the way things are going in Washington will move us in the right direction. We don't want to turn back the clock. We want to continue to build upon the progress from the previous 8 years and do it in a non-divisive fashion. And that's why I'm so pleased to be here and to introduce to you someone who is a thunderbolt of change, an agent who will be a breath of fresh air in Washington, D.C. A dynamic young man who could be doing a whole lot of other things, but is willing to step forward because he believes in the notion of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I give you the next congressman from the 6th Congressional District in the great state of Georgia, John Ossoff.
Thank you again. But before we have soon-to-be Congressman Ossoff begin to speak, the pastor of the church would like to give us a few house rules that I want to give him the opportunity to come up and share with everyone. And then the next voice you hear after the pastor will be John.